Hey guys, in this video we're going to be watching the product launch for the Rodecaster Pro 2. I've already pre-ordered mine, haven't gotten it as yet. I know someone who got his, but let's get into it.
Hey guys, Julian here. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. I'm joined by Berkey, and we are here to celebrate the release of the Rodecaster Pro 2.
Can't
That's
wait for
right.
it.
We are here.
I know this day, it feels like it's taken so long to get here. I am excited,
That is so true. It feels like it's been a while since I've been waiting.
Jules.
What
I
a
cannot
journey.
wait to get the Rodecaster Pro 2 out there in the world, in the wild.
Obviously, we've been fairly involved with the product, so it's going to be fascinating to see how everyone else reacts to it, how people use it in their different setups and scenarios. So super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's already been a lot of conversation online about the Rodecaster Pro 2. We cannot wait until you guys get it into your hands and start playing around with it. It is seriously an amazing piece of gear. And what it will do for your setup, whether you're a musician, a live streamer, a gamer, a podcaster,
Yep, podcast coming up as well, guys, so look out for that.
is absolutely amazing.
So today we are going to be talking about the product, so chatting a little bit about the RCP2 and just nerding out. We're also going to count down to the release of the actual firmware
That's
and
right.
the time that will go out to users. And then also we're going to answer a couple of FAQs. So if you have any questions, dump them in the comment section here, and we'll get to a few of those at the end of this live
And guys, if you have any questions, you can put them here as well in the comments. When I get mine, I'm going to give you all the juicy details.
stream. So
That's right. So, Jules, why don't we talk about what actually happens in exactly 8 minutes and 1 second?
oh my God. Okay, so if we switch down to the computer screen here, you can see the timer. We are sitting at about 7 minutes and 51 seconds. Super exciting. Once that ticks off, Road Central version 2.0.0 is going to be available. And what that is that's a companion app that you can use for the Rodecaster Pro 2 to download firmware updates and configure your unit. But not only that, we're going to be dropping, of course, the Rodecaster Pro 2. Can you tell the good folks at home what you can do with that?
Yeah,
Tell us, please do. I want to hear.
sure. So, basically, what's going to happen at the launch is the Rodecaster Pro 2 will begin shipping. So, I know a lot of you already have pre orders in place. The second that it goes live, your dealer will be shipping your pre order. And you should be getting a shiny new Rodecaster Pro 2 in hand.
So shiny.
If you've been waiting out for the launch, you can go down to your local road dealer and pick one up off the shelf. They should be loaded onto shelves right about now. And if you happen to be one of those very sneaky folks that somehow got your hands on one, you can load up the latest firmware update, which will bring your Rodecaster Pro 2 to life. So very exciting.
Yes. Quick reminder: if you did want to download the update for your Rodecaster Pro 2 and make that usable for you at home, all you need to do is either sit tight, connect it to the internet, and that will tick over, so you can download and install that update directly to your Rodecaster Pro 2.
That's right.
Or you can download version 2.0.0 of Road Central, which is going to be active in about 8 minutes' time. And that will be another way that you can actually download the firmware update for the Rodecaster Pro 2 as well.
That's right. So that's one of the amazing things about the Rodecaster Pro 2 is the fact that you can actually update the unit on the unit itself. Now, anyone who had the original Rodecaster Pro would know that over the life of the product, it evolved in amazing ways to have loads of different features that it didn't have at launch. And with the Rodecaster Pro 2, we wanted to make that even easier to be able to actually load that up. So you simply connect it either via the Ethernet port on the back, or even using the onboard Wi-Fi on the Rodecaster Pro 2, you can connect it to the internet. And then the unit itself, once it's online, will automatically check for.
And yes, that's one thing that I've been waiting for as well. Because at the moment I'm using the Go XLR. And to be honest, it's not portable for on-the-go situations where you just want to go out there and do something when you're away from your computer. So this is very nice that you can update it. You can do everything from the device itself.
For updates, download and install the updates by itself if you just tap on download an update on the unit. So it's actually pretty amazing. And then, as Jules mentioned, you can actually use the Road Central companion app to do that as well if you like. So,
Yes.
Jules, why don't we go through some of our favorite features of
Let's
the
do it.
Rodecaster Pro 2?
Actually, funny you should mention the Road Central app. Let me just open it up here. So the Road Central app is, of course, we're recording in progress at the moment. So if you hit record on that unit there and stop the
Mhm.
recording, so I can do a couple of editing with
Yeah, I've
the
got that
unit.
pause right now. So if I press and hold, I can stop the recording.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So you can see I've got a couple of different options that I can use to configure the Rodecaster Pro 2. We have special access to version 1.0.0, and we're going to be jumping into some of the settings here. What you can do is change the audio setup, change the microphone configuration. I'm not going to move anything around too much now just because we're recording at the moment.
Sensible.
But what you can also do, which is pretty funky, is change the colors of the units and every single
And that's very nice as well. The Go XLR has that feature, but not this easy to do.
channel. So
If we can switch to the top-down cam as Jules actually moves that slider, you can see that you can actually adjust the colors live, even from the Road Central app. Now, what's important to know as well is you can do all of that even just from the unit. You don't even have to connect it, but
yes,
having that, kind of additional access from the app is actually really handy.
super powerful. And if you're the kind of person who likes to do your work in the box, really helpful if you want to just jump in, make a few changes, make a few adjustments, and through the power of digital connection, you can do all those changes and functions there. Not only with that, you can actually stereo link different inputs as well, which is really cool. Device configuration, you can change the brightness, you can adjust the haptics, you can change the metering, all sorts of things that are super, super powerful, that are really handy. Not
Yeah.
only that, you can actually affect the smart pads as well, change the stuff that's on those actual smart.
Hold on, guys. I just noticed this. Did he just say haptics? Ooh. Yo, this thing is coming packing. All these features, what are we gonna do? Can they make something that will outrank this? This has put the original version like in the past. So can they build a version 3 that will go beyond what this one is doing?
Pads, what they actually do, how they function, and then transfer recordings as well. So if you've got podcasts stored on your micro SD card there, you can transfer that across to your computer super, super quick. So
That's right. Yeah, one of the things with the Rodecaster Pro 2 is that it has a super fast card reader on board as well. So there's really no need to ever remove the micro SD card. If you plug it into your computer, it is as fast as the fastest card readers available. So you can do your transfer at lightning speed.
lightning speed. All right, Berkey, tell me about one of your other favorite things about the Rodecaster Pro 2, since we're nerding out here.
All right, since we're nerding out and we are audio nerds, my favorite thing about the Rodecaster Pro 2 is actually the preamps. They are incredible. The pre's on the unit are insanely quiet, which is really important. You can get preamps that give you loads of gain, but if they have a lot of self noise, it doesn't do anything for you. You're just increasing the noise of your signal. Whereas with the Rodecaster Pro 2 pre's, they're very quiet and they give you heaps of gain. So no matter what you're plugging into it, you can always get a really clean signal, which is something that, is actually pretty amazing about this unit.
The double threat. And I know that's a huge issue with a lot of people out there who, want to add effects and stuff to their recording chain. And if you start with a dirty pre, you're only going to get so far. So
That's right.
yeah.
One of my other favorite things, kind of linked to that, is the actual audio setup. It's so easy. I'm going to do channel 3 here since we're actually talking on channel 1 and 2. But basically, to set it up is so simple. You just go through the menu here. You can choose your input source. You could even choose a line input or an instrument. So if you're a musician, I'm a musician. I like to plug an acoustic guitar in and do some recording at home.
Nice.
I can use the Rodecaster Pro 2 as literally the cleanest pre that I will have in my studio. And I've got 4 separate combo inputs on that unit. So it's really cool. And then once you set that up, what it's doing is it's automatically toggling a gain level that makes sense for the.
And if you guys are seeing that it's like it has special areas for like the Rode products. So if you can see all the mics that he's going across right now, just look at it.
Type of microphone you're using, whether it's a dynamic mic or a condenser. And then you have this really simple VoxLab audio setup where you can go through 3 different settings: depth, sparkle, or punch, to be able to set an audio setting that sounds great on your voice. Now, we've already set up channel 1 and 2 here, and we're using the advanced processing. But if you're on the simple processing mode, it's a really easy way to just dial up 3 different settings and it'll control your compressor, your EQ, your noise gate, your DSO, all of that stuff for you. And then if you do want to make some tweaks, you just tap on the advanced button and suddenly you can go in and dive right into those different settings like your high pass filter, your de-esser, your noise gate, your compressor, your EQ, your Aphex, aural exciter, and big bottom. Super powerful, and more importantly, super simple.
Super simple. And that's that we're writing that paradox, right? It's super powerful but simple at the same time,
Yes.
which is really, believe me, that's like difficult thing for the designers to be able to do. So they did
That's
a
right.
fantastic job. Hey, one of my favorite things. No, before we get there,
Time check. We've
accessories.
only got 55 seconds.
love
Jules,
the
what is your
accessories.
favorite thing about this?
I love the accessories on the Rodecaster Pro 2. So there's a bunch available that are going to be launching at the same time. One of those is the Rode Cover 2, which we've got around here somewhere.
Yeah, I think we've stashed it under the table there.
Boom. Beautiful. So
Now,
if
who
you're not
doesn't
using
like
it,
a dust-free Rodecaster Pro when you're
Yes.
not using the unit, or even when you are using the unit,
This may seem gimmicky, but right now, looking at my desk, looking at my Go XLR, it's a mess, guys. Dust everywhere. Oily fingerprints, everything. So this, even though it seems gimmicky, it's kind of useful.
you don't want anyone to touch it.
Yep.
You can put a Rode Cover Pro 2 on top of the unit.
which is ironic seeing how dusty that Rode Cover 2 is.
Hey, that's exactly
doing
what
its
it's for.
job.
It's
It's
doing the
doing
job.
its
All of
job.
that dust would have been on our Rodecaster Pro
Yes.
2.
And I prefer my Rodecaster Pro 2s dustless.
Now, Jules, we only have 17 seconds left, so we're going to have to
I
get to
wanted
all
to
the
get into
other
more.
accessories in a
All right.
moment.
We have literally 12 seconds here. We're doing the countdown, guys. 10,
10,
9,
8,
8, 7,
6,
6, 5, 4, 3, get ready,
2,
1. Woo!
All right, we have launched the Rodecaster Pro 2.
We got liftoff.
live. We've got
Yes.
liftoff. All right.
Feels good.
It does feel good,
Rodecaster Pro
guys.
2 is out there. Get it.
Jump online. Download Road Central version 2. I'm covered in confetti now. This is oh, we should have had the cover on it so that we could
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Do we keep the
prevented-
confetti off
yeah,
the
it's
Rodecaster?
confetti cover.
Actually, let's jump into the other ones. There are also backpacks available for the Rodecaster Pro 2. So
Yep.
those are going to be coming at some point later on down the line.
Jules, right behind you. Why don't you show the fine
Oh, let's
folks the Rodecaster backpack and shoulder bag? So check
on.
this out.
Check that
Something
on.
that we will have available very shortly is this fine Rode backpack, which actually gives you the ability to store your Rodecaster Pro safely. So whether you have a Rodecaster Pro version 1 or version 2, we actually have the ability to strap it into the bag. You can mount up your PSA1 boom arms. You can put your DS1 desk stands, your microphones, your cables, everything all into this the one backpack.
Those look very nice and comfortable. Not gonna lie.
True.
It looks cool, it's comfortable, and it will keep your Rodecaster Pro set up in one place and safe.
Plus, it's super stylish. Plus, we got the messenger bag as well, which is going to be coming around the same time. That, of course, is a little bit smaller, but you'll be able to hold basically everything that you need for a 1 or a 2-person podcast, which is
And
really
again,
cool.
we have our Rodecaster Pro 2 mounted in there. You can actually adjust the positions. You can make the pocket a little bit larger as well if you have a Rodecaster Pro original.
Very true.
And what else do we have, Jules,
my
in new
God.
accessories?
We got so many other ones. So we got the Vesa mount, which is also another ball-mounted connector that
Again,
enables you to.
Right behind you.
Don't tell me
sir.
there's one behind me.
There is one behind you. I stashed it there when you weren't looking.
Here you go. So you got a connector on the back, Vesa mount, your standard Vesa connection. So you can actually connect that to one of your extender on your desk, so you can keep it off your desk and allow yourself a bit more space in your setup. Not only that, it can actually connect to any type of microphone stand, especially if you have a thread adapter by Rode. Look that up, TOR.
Yeah. Now, one of the really cool things about this is that, something that we hear all the time, especially in live streaming setups, is that desk real estate is some of the most precious real.
If everything else was a lie, this isn't. Like, I had to move my keyboard just to record this video. Everything is like set to where anything else that I want to do, I have to remove something just to be able to do it. So this is nice.
Real estate available. You don't want to have loads of things sitting on top of your desk. And having the Vesa mount, you can mount it on a standard monitor arm if you like, and get it off your desk and out of the way. Or if you use this actual Vesa mount adapter, as Jules mentioned, you can get it onto a mic stand. And what's really cool about this is that the Rodecaster Pro 2 is actually amazing even for live performance. So if you're like a singer-songwriter playing at the local cafe,
Can't sing.
you can have your Rodecaster Pro 2 mounted on this stand right next to you, have all of your gear running into it, record it, live stream it, even using your phone if you have the Rode SC19 adapter to go into USB 2.
Perfect.
It's amazing what you can do with it. So check it out. That will be launching very soon. You heard it here first. So, Jules, why don't we get to a couple of FAQs?
Yes, we have some FAQs from
You heard it here first,
some of the
or maybe second. Who knows?
folks in the chat, which is nice. We could just grab that on the chat here. Thank you. Our friend Sam in socials helping us out behind the scenes.
That's right.
Thank you,
Why don't we
Sam.
get to, before our questions start posting up in the chat here, why don't we get to some of the questions that you've noticed just on socials
Just
and
popping
whatnot,
up.
Julian?
So some of the ones that people are talking about at the moment include things like, your basic questions about the capabilities of the unit.
Yeah.
So how many sounds can be simultaneously stored on the unit
Yeah.
at the one time. That particular question has been floating around a fair bit. And the answer to that is 64 in total. Now, you could have 64 sounds stored on every single one of those smart pads, but of course they're not just sound pads.
Of course.
They're smart pads as well. You can activate MIDI commands. You can do mixer actions like fade in and fade outs, and do stuff like
That's one thing that I wish the Go XLR could have had, because the effects buttons, that's all they do. There's no multifunction option for it. So with this coming now, it's like everything, even the Stream Deck will probably soon be obsolete, because even this can work in some capacity as a Stream Deck.
ducking and other functions. So there really are like a lot more than just sound. So
yeah, why don't
while
we
you
do a
can have
lightning
64
fast?
as well.
Why don't we do a lightning fast demo of how
Well,
that
this is
works?
the thing. Like you can actually load up sounds into this thing super quick. So yeah, I'm down for this. Let's go.
All right. So, for instance, on the home screen right now, I can see all of my different sounds. So, if I again wanted to play the applause for the Rodecaster Pro 2 launch, I can do that. I can fade it out, stop the sound. But if I jump to page 2, I don't have anything loaded on that. So, I can just tap on an empty smart pad and I can choose whether I want a sound, whether I want a voice effect, whether I want mixer actions, as you mentioned, like a global fade in, fade out, like a little bleep button so that I can bleep out any audio, all that kind of stuff. But why don't we go and create a sound even on the unit? So, Jules, do you have something in mind to make a sound?
Yes.
Sure, I have something. Top form, never drop form.
Let's go.
All right, ready?
RCP2 launch party.
And just like that, we literally
RCP2 launch party.
just created a sound.
Pops and
a
all.
questionable one. Now let's adjust that sound. So I can get the top and tail of the sound if I like. I can actually select it. I can fade it in. I can fade it out. I can even trim the start of that recording so that it will play immediately. Or even if I wanted to knock a word off the start of the sound or something like that,
RCP2
so that it plays
party.
immediately. Now, another thing I can do is change the toggle mode so that it's a one shot, press and hold to play, a toggle. I can have it in replay mode or continue mode. So even if I wanted to have it start stop like that, I can do that in toggle mode. I can press and hold. I can have it as one shot.
RCP2 launch party.
And
Which
then we
is
go.
everything that you want in a smart pad.
That's
Maybe
right.
we can send this particular sound out to people. You can download it on the website.
I'm sure everyone can't wait to get the RCP2 launch party sound
RCP
effect.
launch party.
Next, we can jump into voice effects. We can even set up effects where, you can go into robot voice, pitch shift, all that kind of stuff. So even, for instance, if I wanted to dive into
That's probably one of the reasons why I didn't get the first one, or the original one, is because the pads didn't really have all that much options for what you could do with it. Whereas the Go XLR, even though it didn't have more than one mic slot, it kind of catered to everything that I needed at the moment. So I went with the Go XLR.
any of these different settings, I can put a voice disguise mode on, and as soon as
I toggle that on, you can hear that my voice is now disguised.
but I'm going to turn that off just because I like to hear my voice just like this. Now, Jules, why don't you tell me one or two other things that you love about the... Actually, you know what we're doing? We're doing FAQs.
We're doing FAQ. Yeah,
We now have our chat
live.
live.
Yeah.
We have a question. Is there panning on the Rodecaster Pro 2? The answer is...
It is yes. There is panning on the Rodecaster Pro 2.
There's pan available on every single channel. So
Yes.
I can go into my advanced processing mode here, tap on the pan button, and then I can pan a channel left or right. I can do that to any channel, whether it's a USB input, whether it's Bluetooth, whether it's a microphone. Every single channel has the ability to be panned left or right.
And for those of you that don't understand what he means by panning, that means that if you have an audio playing, you can switch it to listen to it in either left or right, or to make it even, or to listen it more on one side, basically.
Super powerful. That was actually paired with that. Another one of the really common ones that people were talking about was EQ. People were really
Yes.
desperate to know if there was EQ on the unit. So you want to run us through that
For
really
sure.
quick?
I mean, let's just quickly dive through all of the different processes. So
Mm.
we've got a high pass filter. We can jump to a de-esser, which is basically, if I jump to the de-esser on my voice here, every time I do an S, you can see that it's actually taking it out so that you guys don't have to listen to a very harsh S on any sounds. And something I'm just demoing here is you could see that if I just press on the channel button, I'm controlling that same processor but on a different channel. So it's really simple to jump through and do the same settings and setup on every single
Perfect.
channel.
So if I'm talking over here, you can jump over to my channel and control that if you need to.
That's
and then
right.
when I stop talking, you can do yours.
Exactly. So next, what I can do is jump to the EQ, and just like you asked a moment ago, is there EQ available? Yes, there is. I can, control the high bell, the mid bell,
Nice.
the low bell, gain, everything that you need to be able to get a nice setting on your Rodecaster Pro. Let's get one
Perfecto.
more question before we wrap up the stream.
Yes.
Julian.
So we got one more. What is the EIN or equivalent input noise level of the Revolution preamps on the Rodecaster Pro 2 Berkey?
That is a great question. The EIN of the Rodecaster Pro 2, that equivalent input noise level, which you measure by just using a resistor on the preamp, that's the way that you measure it, is negative 131.5 dBV, which is extremely low. It's about a dB and a half off the theoretical limit for how quiet you could make a pre. So pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I guess the follow-up question to that was, we've seen a lot on socials as well, is people talking about whether I need to use a FET head or, a cloud booster with your unit, and you really don't need to be using that with the unit. In fact, if you use one of those pieces of circuitry on the your signal chain, you're actually going to introduce a fair bit of noise to your signal. So
Yeah, and that's not to say anything bad about those units.
they're fine.
All of those kind of line boosters are actually fantastic bits of gear when you don't have a really killer preamp like you get with the Revolution Pre on the Rodecaster Pro 2. And if you have one, I'm sure that you'll find uses for it in your studio and other applications. But if you use it with your Rodecaster Pro 2, the noise of the circuit will actually increase. It is so quiet that you don't need any kind of line booster.
Yeah, guys, because if you've ever used any device that you can get feedback into your headphone, then you'll know. Getting noise from your mic, it's super crazy. So this is very good as well. Not gonna lie, this one is great. Because even with the Go XLR, there is some noise coming back to my headphones, but it's not all that noticeable unless it's like I'm in total silence.
Truth.
All right, guys. Well,
dropping
thank
facts here.
you so much for joining us at the Rodecaster Pro 2 live stream. If you've pre-ordered, get excited because your pre-order is
have
about
pre-ordered.
to arrive. If you haven't pre-ordered and you're considering a Rodecaster Pro 2, duck down to your local Rode dealer and you will be able to see it there in the flesh. Have a bit of a play around with it. And if you already have one in your hands, then download the firmware update, get Rode Central version 2, and start playing around and making some amazing content.
So guys, thanks for tuning in. Still waiting for the Rodecaster Pro 2 to drop in my hand. You can jump over to my other channel, Top Form Gaming. That's where we do live streams every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Most times, unless we don't, and we just go spontaneous. But yes, you can jump on over there, drop in chat, have some fun with us until the Rodecaster Pro 2 drops, where we're going to be doing some reviews, comparisons between it and the original version and the Go XLR. With that being said, we're out. Top Farm, never drop farm. See you on the next one.